Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast, where we discuss all things empowering, encouraging, and inspiring. My name is Yvonne Ellis. I'm an empowerment speaker, author, coach, trainer, and founder of Yumi Empowerment, a company that facilitates the empowerment of people. I help people to make positive life change, live in their purpose, and develop into their best version of self. I share stories, interviews, spiritual encouragement, and actionable tips to empower, encourage, and inspire you to live the life you want. So if you want to live the empowered life, join me each week on my podcast so we can take the journey together. Hello, Empowered Lifers. Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. My name is Yvonne. I am your host, and on this podcast, I share with you all things empowering, encouraging, and inspiring. On this podcast, I like to encourage people to go after the things that they want in life, to live an empowered life, in spite of the things that they may have done before, in spite of how they feel. I try and help people to find the courage to go after the things they want. So if this is the type of thing that you're looking for, please hit the follow or subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, also Living the Empowered Life YouTube. All links will be below in the show notes. Please be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you don't miss the bi-weekly episodes. So if you're new here, I want to welcome you. Thank you for taking your precious time to listening to this episode. I do hope that this episode is something that you will find of value to you. And to my continued listeners, thank you as always, guys, for your support. Ooh-wee, so guys, it has been a very, very busy time for me over the last few weeks. This weekend has been super busy, and the weekends before and the week, it has just been go, go, go. I've been busy with my consultancy business. I've also been busy doing stuff to do with my Dream Chasers workshop, which is coming up on January the 25th. It's on a Saturday and it's online. It's a 2-hour workshop to encourage dreamers, those that want to go after their dreams, and to help them to put together a plan to go after their dreams. And if this is the type of thing you're looking for, the link to the Dream Chasers workshop will be in the show notes below. But that is one of the things that I've been working on recently. Also as well, I have been taking little pockets of time to do little things that I enjoy. I went to see a ballet performance a couple of weeks ago, first time ever going to the ballet, and it was on my kind of dream list of things to do, and that was at the Royal Opera House, and that was great. I also saw an exhibition at the Royal Opera House called the Black Pioneers of British Ballet, which was a free exhibition, and I did a newsletter article on my experience of going to that called Ballet Dreams, and the feedback, guys, that I have got back from subscribers, again, is just so encouraging and so positive that I just feel really so pleased that I'm able to write and share these experiences with people. But I will talk more about some of the other things that I've been up to in my year recap. But just one other thing I want to share with you, kind of a funny story really. I did share it on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's YEME_empowerment. Over there, I share motivational, empowering content. But I did share that I went into a bookstore near me, which has been stocking my books for a number of years. I went to see how my last book, Exceptional Not Expected, is doing, because the last time my book was in the store, it did sell out. So I just was walking past on my coffee break, decided to pop in, and, I met a lady there. Well, how we got talking is that I asked if she could take a picture of me with my book, because I like to do that to let people know my book is in the store. And we got talking. She asked me about my book. I told her I was an author of 5 books, I'm an empowerment coach. And through this conversation, and this genuine interaction, she bought my book. And I was just so chuffed at that. I've never had anything happen to me like that before in all my years of being an author, but it was really, really nice. And it was just a really positive experience. And I've had so many positive experiences, over the last few weeks. But as I said, I will share it in the upcoming year recap episode, which I've been working on. I've been thinking back to all that's been going on over the year, and I look forward to sharing with you my year recap. And when I do that episode, guys, I would love to hear from you about how your year has been, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the not so great. You can leave your thoughts, comments in the feedback box or the comments box on whatever website you are listening to this podcast on. But yeah, the year is nearly finished, guys. As of recording this episode, it's Sunday the 1st of December, and I am really kind of shocked at how the year has gone so quick. 2024, as I've mentioned in other videos, has been quite a tough year for me, but still I'm very shocked at how quick it's gone. I think I've got probably 2 more episodes to record for December. But yeah, guys, I hope your year has been going okay, and I look forward to hearing about, your year when I do post that episode. So guys, in this episode of the podcast, episode 98, can you believe it? I can't even believe it's saying it, episode 98. Wow, I'm just shocked at the consistency of me being able to do this for nearly 4 years, because when I started it, it was in November 2020, I think. So the time has just gone so quick. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on a tandem. I am going to tell you what this episode is about. And it's about encouraging those of you out there who have what it takes but don't believe you've got what it takes. And that is 2 different things. But before I get into my thoughts on this, I want to share with you a couple of quotes that I came across in relation to this. So the first quote I want to share with you doesn't say who it's by, but it says, "You've got what it takes, but it will take everything you've got." That is so true with a lot of things in life, guys. You have to put in 100% effort. The next quote is by Charles Duhigg. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It says, "If you tell people that they have what it takes to succeed, they'll prove you right." I like that, because that's really about encouragement, isn't it? It's about speaking life into somebody, speaking positivity, that you believe in them. I think that's quite nice. The last quote is by Mark Davis, and it says, "All it takes is all you got." And I really like that quote, and I think that kind of sums up, in part, what I'm trying to say to you today. Believing you've got what it takes is about self-belief. It can be combined with knowledge, experience and information. Some people may have already acquired all this, some others may not. Believing you've got what it takes may involve just knowing you can do it. It's an internal belief that can be helped by external factors like knowledge, information and experience, but having that belief is not dependent upon them. As I mentioned, this year, it has been a really tough year for me. I lost my way, I feel, at the beginning of the year. I found 2024, as I said, emotionally and mentally draining. And in the midst of feeling like that, I started to realise that I stopped doing certain things. For example, at one point, consistently making videos, making podcast episodes to empower, encourage and inspire people. And that is my God-given gift. I know I have what it takes to do these things. I have the skills and experiences. I've created over 1,000 videos across all my platforms. I've talked about many different topics, from the knowledge, wisdom and insight that I have. I have done public speaking events for over a decade, done a TEDx talk and spoken in rooms full of people. But even with all that experience, evidence and knowledge, I stopped believing and instead started doubting. So why did it happen? Well, on reflection, I have been able to realise that it was to do with a lot of external factors that I was looking on. For example, not a lot of engagement from people on some of my social media platforms. Imposter syndrome, started to feel fake, like who am I to be speaking on anything? Imposter syndrome is one of the worst things that you can have, because when you're doing things that you believe you've got what it takes, it's coming from a place within you. It's not to do with comparing yourself to others, but I started to have this imposter syndrome, like I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to be doing the things that I was doing, that, I didn't have what it takes. Also as well, I was thinking about things like whether my message was relevant, worthy or valuable. These were all the things that I was looking on. And this kind of negative introspection, diminished the healthy belief that I had that I have got what it takes. I was too busy looking on all these external things to be evidence of that internal belief. It took a while, but once I stopped looking on these things and not looking for external evidence for belief that I have got what it takes, and instead focused on sharing my gift again, it did release slowly a new enthusiasm and confidence within me, and refocused me on the truth that God is the source of my reassurance, that I have got what it takes, and that I need to believe that I've got what it takes. The Bible scripture that came to mind for me was coming from Ephesians 2:10. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So God had already prepared all these things for me to do, the talents, the skills, everything that he's given me. It was already prepared for me to do it, and he had already equipped me to do it, but I just needed to believe that I had what it takes to do it. I stopped believing for a long time, even though the evidence clearly showed that I had what it takes. Some of you listening to this podcast episode may be experiencing the same thing. You may be wondering if you have what it takes. I can tell you that you do. You have got to believe it. There's no point me telling you it. You have to feel it and believe that you know that you've got what it takes. Don't look to others to believe for you. You have to believe you've got it. Look to God. I would encourage you to get your validation and encouragement. I just want to say here that having a crisis of confidence or doubts or fears does not mean it's evidence that you do not have what it takes. You do have what it takes. To have these feelings is a normal part of trying new things in life. I want to encourage you not to use these feelings as a sign of your ability or a sign to measure your own self-belief. And even though I went through a crisis of confidence earlier on in the year, I do honestly believe and honestly know I've got what it takes. I've got what it takes to help people to make positive life change. I've got what it takes to write really good books. I have got what it takes to talk on many different life subjects because I've been through them. I have what it takes and I believe it. And I want to encourage you to start believing you've got what it takes to do whatever things in life that you're trying to do. Always try to believe the best about yourself, the best about your ability. There's nothing wrong with trying and making mistakes or trying and having to kind of realign things, in order to make things work for you. Again, it is about just having the belief that you can do the things that you set your mind to. Having the belief to know that I can do it. I may not have all the pieces, might not have all the answers or the solutions to do the things I need to do, but I believe I can do it. When you have that most powerful base to start, nothing can stop you. Believe that you've got what it takes because you are more than able. So guys, I just really want to share that word of encouragement for you in this episode because, you can have all it takes to do something, but unless you believe it, you will not do it. And I think it's so important to work on your self-belief because to live an empowered life, you need to believe in yourself and you need to hold firm to something outside of yourself, like the living God, to help you to believe in yourself. That's been my experience anyway, because in living the empowered life, especially as you get older, a lot of people are not living an empowered life. They're living a life set to routine, set to comfort. And when they see somebody like you who is attempting to do things that you're not usually known for by them, it can cause a lot of people to say negative stuff, or to say not so supportive kind of comments to you. And that is why self-belief is so important. So that's it for this episode, guys. I will be posting the episode notification on my Yumi Empowerment Instagram page. So the question I have for you this week is, do you believe you have what it takes? Whatever that thing is, you don't have to say, but I want to know from you, yes or no, do you believe you've got what it takes? And I look forward to seeing any comments that you share about this. Also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, you can leave feedback and you can leave your little comments about whether you believe you've got what it takes on there. But guys, that is it for this episode. Until the next one, take care.